Me? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Always Bookin Comedy. It's Mark Masters. I got Tyler Hittner from Rhode Island. He's on mute right now, but I will get us introduced while he is setting up. It's Monday night. It's a show about comedy and comedians and doing shows and running shows and all that good stuff. Your mute is on, Tyler. Cannot hear you. Yes,
How
there
about
we
now,
go.
sir?
There
Yes.
we go. How are you, buddy?
I'm very good, thank you, sir. How are
Good.
you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. So you're joining us from Rhode Island right now?
Rhode Island, yes, sir.
All right. Heck yeah. Tyler and I met at a show in Rhode Island not that long ago, and he was super funny. Crushed. Holy cow, did you
Appreciate
kill?
it. I
Got some good
appreciate it.
pictures of people just losing their minds over Tyler's material. When
Super
did you get
appreciate it.
started in comedy?
I got started in comedy 5 years ago. I started doing a bringer.
Okay.
Let me just give a little bit of background. Something I feel that's like almost like a cheat code for me with comedy is I'm physically disabled. So with that, having that ailment and having that card dealt to me in life, I felt like people will come up to you and just, ask what happened. And I was always raised in a positive household. So my first instinct was to try to make light of the situation or make the person laugh or smile. And I feel like that's very rooted in my comedy, where it's very positive and happy. So I feel like that was almost like a cheat code to being able to do comedy was being able to talk to strangers and be able to take I heard a quote that said, "From negativity comes creativity." And I believe that reigns through with the person that I am and, what makes me be able to do it. So I started doing comedy at a casino in Connecticut. I was a bringer. We all know what that means. You bring 4 people to see you perform. My first night doing comedy, you bring like 40 people because everybody's excited to see you.
Uh-huh.
And, that's just how it started, and here we are 5 years later.
So how many people were in the audience that first time?
There was a lot. There was a lot.
Like,
I remember
was
the
that comics?
It was comics, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, that's a big room. That's like
It's a big
most
room.
people do like an open mic with like 4 people if they're lucky. Like that's a pretty good
Yeah, that
good
was a
way to
good room,
start.
and I never held a microphone before, so I didn't know what my voice sounded like, and it
That's
was
crazy.
just it
Did
shook me.
how much time did you do?
I think if I remember right, I did 10 minutes.
What?
I remember doing 10 minutes. It wasn't polished,
That's
and
incredible.
everybody laughed because they're your friends, and they're there
Yeah.
to see you. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
great. Did you
was
have any trouble like getting on stage and to the microphone and like because I would think like even I mean I'm able-bodied and I had to
mm.
practice. Like maybe
So
I'm an idiot.
no, no, a fun story. When I first started doing comedy, I would struggle getting up and on and off stage, and it kind of bothered me because it was like I felt like it was a distraction,
Hmm.
and it wasn't until about maybe 2 years in did I learn how to do it. You know what I mean? Like I learned to embrace that struggle because we all see it. Like I can't hide it. Like that's
Mhm.
blaring in your face. So if you watch my set, I start off with a joke right off the bat about me getting on stage. And it makes everybody go, "Oh, you know what? He's okay with it, so we're okay with it."
Yeah.
And
That's smart.
it took me a year, maybe 2 to figure that out though.
That
So,
well, it is that is a cheat code. I mean, I don't think
yeah,
it's a
it's a
cheat
Chico.
code, like, it's just you're very, very funny
Thank
about
you.
a specific topic, that
I
is very
appreciate it.
personal to you.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
yeah. Have you this might be a weird question, but do you have, like, disabled comics you look up to? Or have you worked with other disabled comics?
I've worked with disabled comics. Mike Murray and he's a local deaf comedian. He's a great guy. Him and I work together a lot, and we're good friends. I learned a lot from him. Famous comedian Josh Blue. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, he's from Denver. I'd see him all the time.
He is
In
from
fact,
Denver.
the first time I ever performed at Comedy Works, he headlined that night. I got his autograph on the little, like, lineup sheet.
Oh, that's cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Yeah, so I know Josh really well. Have you seen him live?
Oh yeah, I seen him live. I talked to him. I think I had dinner with him at one point or another.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Um, as far as
And
like
so funny. Holy
so
cow.
funny, so
Yeah.
funny.
And makes so much money.
Does he really?
Oh, he does. Yes.
Good for him. Good for
Good
him.
for him. Exactly.
When I started comedy, this is a little sidetrack, but I liked Jim Jeffries a lot. You know Jim
Yeah,
Jeffries?
sure.
I liked him because he was a storyteller, and like that was something I could really hold on to and be able to tell stories about being disabled, and that was a big like thing for me,
Huh.
you know.
That's cool. So, what did you now that like if you look back 5 years ago, is there anything you would tell yourself to, maybe help
Oh yeah,
yourself get better quicker or
oh
any
yeah. You
lessons?
don't. Oh, absolutely. You don't have 10 minutes, Tyler. If you think you got 10, you got 3. Like, uh, there was that. I put my eggs in one basket when I started, all in one basket, and I wish I
Yeah.
didn't. But I
Okay.
learned a lot from it. I wouldn't change many things. Probably nothing. Like I think I'm proud of like my material. I'm proud of my work ethic. I think I'm really good. I'm proud of the mistakes I made early because I learned from them and I was able to grow with it as
Right.
opposed to just doing the same mistake over and over again.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay, tell me about an early booking win.
an early booking win. I did a show. Do you know who Lenny Clark is?
I recognize that name.
He's
I don't.
like Lenny Clark, Steve Sweeney, and Don Gavin are local. They're Boston legends, is what they called. They're like Boston legend comics. Like what's his name? Dennis Leary.
Yeah, of course.
They all came up together and they did like Lenny Clark was in the movie There's Something About Mary,
Okay.
with Ben Stiller. And I had a friend who was on a show with them, and I said, "Hey, can I get on this show? Like, is there any way I can get on the show?" It was Don Gavin, Lenny Clark, and Steve Sweeney. And it was those three, and then it was my friend John Peralta. And I was like, "Is there any way I can get on the show?" He's like, "I don't know that, this is a big deal for us." And I was like, "I'll move 20 tickets, 30 tickets, 50 tickets, whatever it takes." And he's like, "If you can move a few tickets, we'll put you on the show." And I remember my mom and dad went, and my grandparents went, and it was just such a cool deal to me. And Lenny Clark gets up there, and he's like, "Where are Tyler Hittner's parents?" And I see my parents go, "Oh shit! Like, what is this?" And they went, they raised their hand, and Lenny's like, "What an amazing kid you raised!" And
Oh,
it was a good moment. It was very good, and I did the show clean. I did the whole show clean because my grandmother was there, so
yeah.
I did do the whole show clean. So I thought that was really cool.
Huh. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
great.
that was definitely a win for sure, an early win because I
Yeah.
was
Does he
way out of my league.
Yeah. Where'd they put you in the lineup?
I was in between Steve Sweeney, and then it was the host, just like a host, like he didn't do
Yeah.
comedy. I don't think he did comedy. Maybe he did. I don't remember 100%. But I remember Steve Sweeney going up because he wanted to get home to watch the football game or basketball game. And I'm following this legend, like this huge, and then it's me, or and then it's Don Gavin, and then it's Lenny Clark. Like it was such a wild experience for
That's
me.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
cool. Does Lenny Clark live in Rhode Island or that area still, or
he's a
is he in
Boston
LA?
comic. He's a
Oh, he's in
Boston comic.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's on a new show with the guy from Two and a Half Men on NBC.
Oh,
What's
really?
the,
Wow.
yeah, he's if you've seen him, you recognize him right
Okay.
away.
All right.
Yeah,
Um, have you run any shows yourself?
I have. Yeah, I've run about. I don't like to. I'm not the biggest show producer.
Hmm.
I don't mind it. I prefer because I'm a family person. I have a son and I have a daughter on the way. In February, I'd rather just show up and do the comedy
Mm,
instead of run the show. I
yeah.
do run about three. I help book 2 shows, and I run one show in Rhode Island right now.
Okay. A
So yeah,
monthly?
uh, quarterly. We do it
Quarterly?
quarterly. We've
Okay.
done one so far, sold out, and the next one is booked, and it's in really good shape to sell out.
That's great.
So
What's the
yes,
venue like?
it's just a restaurant. It's my hometown where I live in right now, Richmond, Rhode Island. It's just a restaurant that the guy shuts down on like a Saturday night, and he has like 200 people in there, and it's a
What?
good time. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a really good
Holy
time.
cow. How much are tickets?
Tickets, I believe, are 20 a piece.
Holy cow. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, it's a good time. It's busy, packed,
Who do
you
you
know.
like? What level of like, are you flying in people to perform at this or just big regional comics or?
No, they just so I have like me. I usually host it. Like my
Okay.
plan is I featured last time, and I'm gonna host from now on because I
Okay.
think the people in our area they've already seen me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So I think it's just gonna be like I do like a regional headliner,
Okay.
like within the budget, and then I do like a host, and it's just people I know, like people I know, like what their material are, and I know if they're a solid comic.
Yeah.
Because you and I both know when we see each other, like locally, you see the same comics. You
Yeah.
know who's stronger in what situation.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
why. What
yeah.
do you do about like sound and lighting and stage stuff like that? Do they already have some of that?
I book somebody that can bring all that.
Do you like rent it or you book a comic who has it?
I book a comic that has it, and I'll
Okay.
throw in a little extra
Right on.
for
That's
that.
smart. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and then I just get there and I just host, so it's just like and the venue does a fantastic job selling the tickets. Like,
Huh.
he does 100% of that. Like, I help a little bit,
Right.
but he is, like, on it with marketing and stuff like that.
Do you have
So,
any idea what kind of stuff he does? Does he have like an email list for the restaurant
he
or
has a he has a restaurant. I know he has, like, ads on radio, ads on newspapers.
specifically
He
for the comedy show?
Yeah,
Holy cow. Does he keep the ticket sales?
yeah, yeah, and
Oh,
I get a
okay.
budget. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and he keeps bar and everything, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be there. Like, he reached out to me after he reached out to me, he's like, "I wanna do a show, and we have musicians come in once a month, and we wanna do comedy once a month." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll book the comics, so you just give me a budget, and I'll book who I know will give you a good show, and, something that you can say, be proud of." So,
Yeah.
that's how that came to fruition. Um but yeah, no, it's a good show. And then the other show I book is in Westerly, Rhode Island, and it's a movie theater.
Oh, is that is
Tad Flint's.
yeah, Tad Flynn's show.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah. Have
guys
you
do that
done?
together?
I help him. So if
Okay.
he'll ask me, what do you think of this person? What do you think of this person?
Yeah.
And I know, like you and I. Did you do the show?
I'm doing it hopefully in April of
Okay,
2024.
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent show. When you do it, it's a
Okay.
phenomenal. You'll fit right in.
Okay.
But like sometimes comics will reach out to Tad and be like, "Oh, I want to do a spot," and I'll be like, maybe he's not the best fit because the show is like PG-13 to light
Mm,
R, and
yeah.
maybe they're a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. If that's who you are, rock who you are.
Sure.
But for that room, it's just it's not gonna jive with the vibe of the room.
Right. Yeah.
So you are a perfect fit for that.
I believe I am. So I will send my
Yes.
avails later. I think it's just too early. He's like he doesn't
Yes.
know which date is open in April. It's a
Yeah.
Saturday night show, right?
It's a Saturday night show. It's in the restaurant that it's attached to is like one of the best restaurants I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
Yes,
Incredible. You want
it's
to shout him
attached to
out?
a yeah, it's a place called The Cafe, and the food and drink there are
What a
phenomenal.
boring name for the
It's
best
a
restaurant you've ever been
you
to.
you gotta try it.
Okay.
It's very good. The United Theater is a phenomenal room. It's a
Yeah.
fun show. It's a good time.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it. I'll be out. I'm headlining some shows in Maine in
Okay.
April.
Are
So I'm
you
gonna
working with is it Lost Valley Comedy Fest?
Great Falls.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Have you done
I
that
just did,
route?
yeah, I just did a show with them about a month ago.
Okay.
It was a contest. They had about 300 to 400 people in the room for our
What?
show. Yes,
The Great
yes.
Fall in Auburn, Maine?
In Auburn, Maine, we were at a ski resort, and it was like the,
Wait, is this the
the
same room that they do the weekly show at?
no,
No.
no,
Okay,
this is
okay.
another. This
Because
was a
I tell you, I was
contest.
getting like dollar signs in my eyeballs because I have a door deal. So like I get
Oh
like
no,
a cut of the. I was like, oh, here
no.
we go.
This was a contest that was like it was called the Great Falls Laugh Off, I think it was. It was
Okay.
me and 6 other comics.
Well, that's it
That
for
was it.
400 people. That's awesome.
It was like 3 to 400. It was a lot.
How
And
long
it
did it
was
take you to drive there?
3.5 hours.
Okay.
I got a rental car. I won the contest, which
You
felt
can. What
great.
is it like when you go up to the rental car counter?
But they know me like very well. They're like, we have your handicap car. Like it's a effing clown car. Like
Oh, it's so funny.
it's so
Do
funny.
you have hand controls?
Yeah, it's gas
Okay.
and brake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gas and
Yeah.
brake. But you will
Um,
have such a good time in Auburn, Maine. It is such a good time.
okay. It is?
It's a good
Okay,
time.
cool.
Yes, yes.
That's good.
Leonard Kimball runs a phenomenal show. All those guys are so professional. It's good. It's very
That's
good.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll be in town for hopefully like 10 days, maybe even 2 weeks, and
Okay, let me
go
know and
to
I'll see what we got going on. I'll see if,
okay.
if I'm doing anything, you can come along with me.
Yeah, New Hampshire, Rhode
Yeah.
Island, Massachusetts, etc. Try and do it all.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some more. What's like the worst show you've ever been on without naming it? Like what was bad about it or
Oh, I can give you like 4 or 5 of them. I did a guy saw me at a show early, like this was like my 4th or 5th show. And at that time, you're just excited to be asked, and you don't. The Jeff Goldblum quote from Jurassic Park is, you know that you could, but you never asked yourself, should you?
yeah.
Something like that. So that quote was very poorly redone. But I did a show for a rap album release party, and I opened for this kid, and he's like, "Can you do 30 minutes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yes, I can. I feel like I can."
I don't have the word no in my body.
No,
Yes.
I don't have the word no in my body. And I go up there, and it is, I do like I've never done a room where, when you do a bringer and everybody's laughing because they're your friends.
Yeah.
So it becomes like the you show. They used to call it the Tyler show.
Okay.
So now you're doing a room that nobody knows you.
Oh my God.
And it's like, and nobody showed up to this rap album release party either.
Oh,
Like it wasn't like Drake. Like it was like a kid from my same town.
right.
And it was like his mom, his dad, and like the guy that was catering the tacos and his sister. And it was so bad. And
Did
after
you
like
fill the 30 minutes or did you get off in like 12?
I gave up at 7.
7?
7? Because I got up there and everyone's going, what is he doing? Why is he what? Because
This
nobody
doesn't sound like
told me.
rap.
It doesn't. Is he a rapper? Is he a little crip? Like what is that? Who is this guy? And
Oh my
it
goodness, 7
didn't get
minutes. Was it
any
was
better.
it a paid gig?
It was, but I didn't get paid.
Because they refused to pay you, or you were like,
They
look,
were
it's
like,
fine.
you promised us 30, you gave us 7.
Yeah,
And I was,
okay.
yeah, you guys can just keep the money.
Yeah.
You guys can just,
Can I have my ego back?
I'll actually pay for that taco that you guys gave me. Like, I'll go give that guy the $3.
That is so funny. Oh
It
my
was
goodness.
so bad. There was that one, and there was another one I did that was like a kid's surprise graduation party.
Okay.
And it was like we're at a
Like
kid's
what
grad.
level? Like preschool?
No, it was like he graduated high school,
High school. Okay. That's
and
the
like,
high school, that's a tough age to do comedy.
and like his whole family was there. I remember there being like babies in like high chairs, and then they're like, "Hey, like it was like, hey Evan, we got a surprise for you. Here he comes." And I'm like, "Oh, this isn't good." Like whenever comedy is a surprise to anybody, it's just not a great experience. And I remember being booked for like 15 minutes and just being up there and just being like, I wish I was anywhere else right now.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
That's hilarious.
it was
Excuse me. How's the
very fun.
in your monthly show at the cafe? Oh no, no, that's not the cafe. The other restaurant. Uh
The Wood
do,
River Inn.
Wood River Inn. Do they how's
Yeah.
their sound? Like I guess
There's
the first time you brought in the sound, how did it go?
Oh, it's phenomenal. Everything worked out very well. We just bought a little Bose speaker and the room
Okay.
has low ceilings, so you know that's good.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit of a stage, like probably about, like maybe 2 or 3 feet, not a huge
Okay.
stage. And everything flowed so good, and everybody was on board, and everybody was there to have a good time.
Yeah.
And the sound was good, the speakers were good, there was no complaints. That show went really well. I'm hoping the next one goes well. I'm gonna take the following one off. I passed the torch on to a friend for that one because
Okay.
my wife and I are expecting. So
February, little girl,
February,
right?
little
All
girl. So
right.
I can't run that show. So I have a friend that's gonna handle it for maybe 2 quarters.
Okay.
So we do it like so. Maybe he'll do 1 or 2 of them for me, and then I'll
Okay.
come back and handle it
Okay.
again. So
Yeah. That's amazing. That's
yeah.
great.
So it's fun.
Uh, what's been one of your favorite shows, a different favorite show that you've been on?
I've had many favorite shows and a lot that stick out to me. The Great is it Great Falls? That competition was
Oh
huge
yeah,
for
tell
me.
us what happened at the competition. We didn't get the end of the story.
So it was, all the other comics were like they won funniest person in Maine. Like they had like real credits to their name. So to be able to, go up there and I just had the planets aligned and I had an amazing set, a smoking set, something I'm really proud of. Something
Hmm.
that was really polished and really good and really fun. And I was able to win, the first place, the money and everything like that. And it was an honor.
That's so awesome.
It was such a good time. And that was one of my favorite shows.
How did it
Um,
work? Was it like everybody just did one set, or were there like semifinals and
I
finals, or
no, it was all one set, and I believe we did 10 minutes apiece.
okay? And where were
Um,
you in the lineup?
I was fourth or fifth.
Right in the middle, right in the heart
Right in
of
the
it.
middle, right
Nice.
where you want to be, right where
Yeah.
you want to be.
Uh-huh.
And I had them right at that first minute when I get up on stage, and you could have heard a pin drop when I was up there, and I was able to like, break that
Tension.
tension,
Yeah.
and bring it in, and I was just so honored. That was definitely one of my favorite shows. Another one I do is I have a residency in New York at the Broadway Comedy Club.
Okay.
And I did a show following Jocelyn Chai. Do you know Jocelyn?
Yeah, she's the Singaporean, right? Who just got
Yes.
in big trouble. Well, not trouble, but like people were angry
Yes.
with her. Yes, she's
Yes.
famous, internet
She's
famous.
internet famous. So I followed her and she's Asian, which we all know. So she goes up there right before me and she lights the room on fire. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, I can't follow that. Like that's insane. And I go up there and I asked her if it was okay before. So I was like, everybody always wants to know why I'm disabled. That last Asian lady hit me with her car, and and it was just on from there. And it was a really good set. And it was something I remember being super proud of because like I knew like I won the residency, but now like I solidified that I belong here. Like
Yeah,
and it was a cool time.
that's so cool. Tell us
It
about
was
how the residency works.
The residency, I went up there for and did a bringer. The first time is an audition, and I don't know how many they picked out of us. I don't know how many are auditioning, but they called me a couple days later, and they're like, we're gonna go with you. We're gonna make it so that way you only have to come up once either every month or every couple of months. So they made it all one night. So I do like the 5:30, 7, 9:30, 11, whatever it may be, whatever times and I get to fulfill my residency duties all in one night instead of having to drive back and forth to New York from Rhode
Right.
Island several nights a week, which is I was thrilled. So I'm just so honored. I'm going back January 6th,
Cool.
is my next night.
To the
Um,
Capitol or to the comedy club?
the New York, the Broadway Comedy Club. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That. Everybody keeps saying that. I didn't know why. Now you say that, and that makes sense. To the
It's like this is so dumb, but the other day I saw a building that was like, do you know the Flatiron building in New York City? Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
It's got a very distinctive shape. Well, this story will go nowhere, but anybody who's watching this online, this is how dumb I am. The other day I saw a building and I was like, oh, that looks like the Flatiron building. It's a building that's like a triangle.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, that's why they call it the Flatiron because it
Uh,
looks like my whole life I've been calling it a flat iron. I didn't know why it was called the Flatiron. I thought that was somebody's last name or something. It's so
Oh,
dumb.
you had one of those moments like, oh,
Yes, exactly.
that's what. That's fun.
Oh my
That's a fun
goodness.
thing.
What kind of goals you got going forward? What are you
You know,
excited about?
Mark, I love asking other comedians what their goals are because I don't know. I don't know. I like asking like veteran comics what their goals are because I very much so just take it show by show by show and just
Hmm.
appreciate the ride. Because I don't
Yeah,
know, do I want to be on the road as a traveling comic? I mean, I have a family, kind of got roots here.
yeah.
Do I want to be on tour? Do I want to? I actually just did my first feature weekend this weekend at the Funny Bone in
Cool.
Hartford. Yeah, I did
Wow.
my first.
Who was
Yeah,
the headliner?
the headliner was John Heffernan. Do you know John Heffernan?
I've heard the name for sure.
So yeah, and I was able to do a feature, and that was like a big deal to me. And that was like
Yeah,
my next comedy milestone was that
nice.
was
What was that?
you know,
4 shows?
yeah. We did three. He did five. Yeah, we did one Friday night, two Saturday night. It was about an
Okay.
hour and a half away, maybe two
Did
hours.
you
So it
come back
was
each night or did you stay up there?
no, I drove back and forth.
Okay.
But like I don't know. Like I love asking other comics what their goals are because I appreciate every show, and it's
Yeah,
just like a ladder. Like I just keep going and see what's at the top.
yeah. How do you write every day or once a week or how are you getting your new jokes?
New jokes. I love life experiences. Like I will go out of my way to experience like whether it be jury duty or like I'll give you a joke I just worked on. You know my wife's pregnant. So me and my wife were having an argument in the mall the other day and I was like, there's a joke here. And she's like, not right now. And I'm like, no, no. Like I'm yelling at a pregnant person, but you're yelling at a handicapped person. Like if there's anyone filming this argument, they're like, I don't know who to help here.
Who do we cheer for?
Who do we who
Who's the
do
villain?
we who's the villain of this very equal match fight?
It really depends how many months pregnant she is, I think.
She's like 7 months. Like it's clear.
That's hilarious.
It was a good little joke. And like that's like my newest bit is talking about my wife being pregnant because that's
Yeah.
what I'm experiencing.
Yeah. That's cool. Do
So
you go to Mike's?
I do something like Mike's. I do a lot of the funny for funs.
Yeah.
I do some. I'll try new material there because I do those so frequently. I do a lot of the. I don't really do Mike's. No, I've done maybe one or two in my career.
Okay.
Um,
That's
yeah,
crazy. You realize that's crazy.
it's a little crazy because like I have a tough time leaving the family for
Yeah.
like to go try something in a room in a bar room full of other comics. Like it to me, I work with the public all day long,
Okay.
and I see maybe like 60 to 80 people a day,
Okay.
and I'll throw jokes at them just to see
You're
like my
using
family.
your
Yeah,
life experience is your open mic.
right.
You're
Like my family owns an automotive shop, and I work the front desk, and I'll throw jokes in the waiting room just to see
yeah.
how, and like if they get a reaction, I'll then go forward with it.
Oh, you laugh pretty well. 10% off.
Yeah, yeah. You like your car passes inspection. It doesn't, but it does today.
We'll slide it through. That's so funny. That's great. Well, okay, let me get more specific about who's a comic you'd like to perform with.
Jim Jeffries all day long.
Okay.
I met Jim before I was doing comedy. And I told him I want to open for him one day.
I
And
know like I've worked twice just recently with Lisa Curry who tours with Jim Jeffries.
oh yeah, that's
So maybe
cool.
there's some kind of connection we can make there. She lives in Los
That
Angeles.
that'd be so nice because that Jim is like my. I remember seeing Jim at Foxwoods with my mom, my wife, my dad, and I remember being like, "That's what I want to do." Like I
Yeah.
remember
Is he on tour? Does he tour right now? Do you know?
he is touring. He is touring. I remember the intro because he came out to like AC/DC or something,
Yeah.
and I thought it was just the coolest. Cool. It was like a rock star moment.
Yeah.
Like it was the first time I viewed a comedian as a rock star.
Yeah.
And it was,
That's sweet.
that's definitely something I want to work with. Adam Sandler, obviously,
Okay.
childhood hero there. That's a big person for me as well too. So
He's got to be coming through soon, right? To the
yeah, he
garden
is.
or yeah.
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
gonna go see him?
I don't know. I don't know. Getting out right now is a little tough. Not,
Yeah, I guess so. You get the good seats though,
we do.
right?
We get the when
Yeah.
we went to go see Lady Gaga at Fenway. We saw Lady Gaga at Fenway Park, and I had like a big group of me. They're like, "You handicapped?" I'm like, "Not all of us, just me." They're like, "Come with us," and
Oh
they
my
moved
goodness.
us to this handicap section, which was like right up front in the stage.
That's
And
incredible.
I saw the most amazing thing when we were there. There was a guy there, very flamboyant, muscular man, and big Lady Gaga fan, and he had a sister who had cerebral palsy. And he's like, I bring her to this concert because I know I'm gonna get better seats. He's like, she doesn't like Lady Gaga. She's facing the wrong way. But I knew if I brought her, I would get these seats. And he was
Yeah.
right. It was so
Oh,
funny.
unbelievable. That's great. All right, we're
It
going to
was
end it on there. A little life hack for everybody. Bring
little
bring
life
your
hack.
friend with cerebral palsy to your next concert.
And
All
face
right,
them the
Tyler.
wrong way.
Yes,
Thank you so
exactly.
much for having me.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you and chat, and I can't wait to be back in New England and slinging jokes on the same show with you.
Sounds
How
good.
can people follow along with your progress?
Sure, it's Wheels 1990 on Instagram. So it's WHEELZ
Okay.
1990 on Instagram. And then my Facebook is Tyler Hittner. I
Okay.
post where I'm going to be each week.
What do you think I should title this episode? I usually like choose something
Just
that
roll with it.
just roll with it. Okay, I
Just
like
roll
it.
with it. That's a
All right,
cute little thing.
I like it. All right, Tyler. Have a great
All right.
evening.
Thank you,
Congrats
Mark.
on the upcoming kid, and I'll see you soon in
All right.
person.
Sounds great. Thank you so
Take
much
it
for
easy.
having me, sir. I had a great
All right.
time.
Bye
All right.
bye.